So let's see what are the changes happening with the customers of products. So you're building a lot of products which will ultimately be used by some of the customers. And what are the major changes happening with these customers? We'll just take a look at it and see what the problems that they're going through. So if you see, there are around 3 billion people using internet, and this is going to grow rapidly because there are a lot of initiatives coming. Google is having a project Loom where they're planning to have this hot air balloons to make sure that every person in the world would have internet. There's another US company which is trying to put a lot of small satellites, and their aim is to ultimately give free internet access, Wi-Fi access to every person in the world. Okay? I don't know how they're going to make money, but the point is, over a period of time, entire people on the earth would have access to internet, and ultimately, most of these would be your customers. And these people who are customers are also using, so there are a lot of smartphone usage which is happening, which has made it easy for people to access internet. And then apart from these, there are a lot of devices that people are using. Okay? And all these devices are also connected. When I was leaving IBM, I was part of this IoT project, which was showcased in CES recently. What we did was, we took a Samsung washing machine, and when the detergent goes low in the washing machine, it kind of connects with the sellers, buys the detergent, makes that agreement, pays through Bitcoin, and the detergent comes to your home. Yeah? So we kind of made this whole prototype, right? And we kind of showed it in CS. So the point is, the customers are connected, and the devices that they're using across within the home, they will also be connected. And then apart from this connection, all these customers are also part of social media. And then what are they doing in social media is people with similar interests are forming groups. Let's say people with photography interest are in a group. And not necessarily they need to be from a specific location. Some could be from some other country. So there's no age bar, there's no location bar. People coming from different sides and kind of exchanging information across about a certain topic, or within photography it could be Canon cameras. Within Canon cameras it could be lens. Yeah. So there are a lot of these focus groups, and then social media has become one of the kind of biggest focus group in the world, right? And then as people are using the social media, if something goes wrong with the product, your product if they're using, they would not hesitate even a second to go out and say, I dislike it. Yeah? People are very open to kind of go back and say that I kind of hate this product, or whatever it might be, right? So, and then what is happening is, as people say that I like this, I don't like this, a lot of these customers want to also participate in the product that you're building. Yeah? So if Samsung is building a phone, they would like to say, oh, I would like to have this feature in the phone. Yeah? So your customer now also want to be a co-creators in the product that you're creating. Yeah? So they are saying you're not alone, we would like to help you. Yeah? So there's a lot of surveys being done where around 40 to 50% of the people, like a young generation from 20 to 40 years, they said like, we want to be co-creators in the product that we are using. Okay? So that's what has changed, which is happening. And then you might be aware that Apple had not allowed this Google Maps on their phone, and then people started shouting on social media. And what happened? They came back. And if you see another example of Google Maps, so this offline version in Google Maps, it took only 24 hours for Google to bring back their feature after discontinuing it. So this is the kind of power of people within the social media. Yeah? So this is not just electronic companies. There's this company I found called Urban Outfitters. So they had used this word called depression on their t-shirts. And then people came out on Twitter and started kind of banging them out. And within no time, they got those t-shirts out from the retail stores. Yeah? So this is the power of the customers which are there, which are using your products. Yeah. Now what is also happening is all this new technology like cloud. So previously if you're doing a software business and you're giving some software used to send CDs across to various customers. So if you're giving an update to one customer, it would not have affected somebody else. But new technologies like cloud makes it very different. Every change that you make, so you make a change to your website now, there's hundreds of people who are using it. Or it could be some product, right? It could be a service. And then one wrong thing, in no time you will have to go and fix it. You cannot say, I'm going to take 24 hours and stuff like that. Right? So this technology is changing the way we kind of provide updates and support to the customers. Right? And then other thing what is happening is the people are being more kind of demanding because now they have a direct connection with the companies. When a customer is talking on social media, on a company's website, he feels that he has a direct connection with the customer. And when he has a direct connection with the customer, he's expecting that whenever I ask for something and whenever I report a problem, it needs to be solved. It's not like you drop a mail and then you get a response, okay, we'll look at it after 24 hours. It used to happen, right? When you drop a mail to companies. Those days are gone.
It still happens.
Right?
It still happens.
It still happens, but those companies, I don't know how much they will survive if they're going such. Right? So the customers are more and more demanding for the products that you're building. Right? Okay. So with all these changes, social media and technology coming in, are companies adopting to it? So based on this Calypso's survey, around 50% of companies which were surveyed said that they're using in ideation phase. Not many people using in the post-launch support. They would like to use it. So if you see 52% are saying that they would like to use all these new technologies in social media within the product development phases, but they're not yet. And from an analytics perspective, now if you have a mobile app and if you face a problem, what do? There is no inline support from the mobile app to the company. Where you say, oh, I'm facing this problem, can you help? You go to your website and you find the number or whatever it might be. Right? So according to the survey of Gartner, 96% of the companies don't have that. Right? And then even from an analytics perspective, a lot of companies are kind of doing analytics, collecting data, but they are only specific for the product. They are not kind of looking at what our competitors are talking about, what people are talking in general. So let's say if I'm Canon and I'm building cameras, so Canon is not probably checking what people are talking about photography. Right? So something apart from your product space. Now, why companies are not able to use social media analytics in product development? So what I figured out is 5 major kind of challenges companies are facing. First is there's no formal strategy. What happens at the higher level, the CIOs, the CEOs, they are saying, okay, show me the ROI. If I use social media within product development, what is the ROI that I'm going to get? Yeah. So they are looking from that perspective. So there is no push from the top side saying that, okay, as I don't see any ROI, I'm not going to put money, or I don't have any strategy from that perspective. The second thing is, a lot of these companies have very low budget for social analytics, and the departments like marketing and sales mostly use that budget from a social media analytics perspective. So there is product development department would hardly come into picture when people have very small budget from the perspective, because they would give to marketing because that's where they are kind of generating the revenue to start with. Right? The third is, a lot of companies are collecting data, but there's no actionable analytics around it. Yeah. So there's a lot of data coming in. It's like, let's say if you use credit card, how many people here from last 3 years, you could say that, okay, how much I spent in going to restaurants or going to movies. Yeah. So it's not that we don't have data. Yeah. Data is there. Yeah. So data might be there, probably, but we don't have a tool. That's another thing. And now a lot of tools are coming in. But I don't know how many people still kind of do that analysis and say, okay, from last 3 years, that I'm spending my spending on restaurants have gone 10%. So data is there, but there's no actionable analytics. The fourth thing is to involve customers. Yeah, to involve the people or customers of your product, you need to build focus groups, yeah, within social media and stuff like that. Right? And then a lot of companies are not able to build social. They feel that, okay, when I kind of go and build a focus group, let's say if it's Samsung, you would say, oh, people would understand what I'm going to do next. Yeah, they would probably, my IP would get leaked out, because if I allow my product development teams or marketing team to directly talk with end customers, they might probably give out certain information. So a lot of companies, when I was doing strategy consulting, when we used to talk to clients, they used to kind of worry about the IP perspective. And the fifth thing is to have analytics and then gather the data, do analytics, provide proper information. It requires to have the entire systems into place. Yeah? And these are complex. This might not be kind of just put in one server and it's all done, right? For small companies, it might be okay, you probably find tools, but if they're larger companies, you know, so it requires complex systems. Yeah. So I remember we were talking when I was in IBM to some of these Chinese mobile companies, and so all the users who are using mobiles, how do you collect the data? So there has to be some tool which is sitting on your mobile, which is collecting the data and kind of sending it across, right? So there's a cost associated with all of those. So those complex systems, a lot of companies probably don't have it yet, and that's the reason that they are kind of not using. So let's probably discuss for a while. How many of you guys think that social media you guys or your company would have or have used in a product development cycle? So in what phase? Is it in ideation? Is it in product improvement? What's it?
Only ideation.
Ideation?
Market feedback and ideation.
More market feedback and ideation. So do you kind of have your own focus groups, or how do you kind of do it?
We have a marketing expert who does it for us.
Okay. So there are specific marketing people who are getting, but there are no product development teams are not directly interacting. Okay, they report kind of. But product development experts are not directly interacting with the customers on those focus groups. Kind of. So why do you think that? Is there your company have faced any challenges in using such things, or never been discussed, or?
So it's also the fear that the social media, so whatever you get as feedback, not be the right one to look at, especially if it's a enterprise product or business product. You're not sure who is commenting that. Is it the competitor? Is it somebody just not connected to the product? You're not sure about the sanity of the feedback. You should base your decisions on that.
And anyway, 70% of the social media feedback is negative. And if it's about a particular thing, people don't come around and say that I love it, although everybody wishes it. But then on a product, 70-80% is always the bad feedback. So that's what people say.
In case of OEMs, probably the guy who is developing that product may not be even, or the user may not be even knowing who is developing the product. So who is the face of the product might be doing some kind of a social marketing or whatever, but not the developer.
Okay. So we kind of got different feedback, but like you said, most of these feedback would be negative. But what do you think if companies don't pay attention to these negatives? What will happen?
So it's not about not paying attention to the negative. It's about the sanity of the feedback itself. Is it genuine? at least want to hear negative feedback, but then is it really from a person who has used it? Is it really genuinely negative? Is it just some client comment coming in? Should you really consider it seriously?
Because there are a lot of these analytical tools which helps you to kind of understand those aspects to a good degree. Yeah. So it will give you a dashboard of this is what we think, and then if you want to kind of take it and do an extra survey, go to your end customers and really kind of do a match, you can probably do that. But it kind of does an analysis for you to tell you that this is the field that we are.
I don't know if it's possible as an implant feedback also, like an experience kind of thing. Maybe a complicated plant and somebody
Could be.
feedback.
Could be. I think Samsung had done in Taiwan, and they were sued for that.
Oh.
Samsung was sued because some of their employees were writing wrong feedback about their company.
Yeah, because in our company, we do have social Facebook pages with the companies. Apart from that, on our website there is email link where customers can give feedback, or on the website itself they can give feedback in the comment section. So the website feedback gets us the contacts. We can contact them back, clarify what is the feedback, and then take action. But the social media feedback, the Facebook page feedback, and the LinkedIn page feedback, most of the times it's unrelated people who give feedback. Related people do not even want to give feedback on that. In our product situation, it's a business product. It's for the businesses. Let's say there's a user, for example, is a customer.
Enterprise users.
Yeah, they do not want to give feedback in the social
Yeah,
media
yeah,
of our product. They
enterprise
probably
customers.
prefer to give it on the website, targeted feedback, or anyway. They want to give feedback, but not on the social media.
Yeah, and I'll probably show you some examples of how we have done with our enterprise customers. So here we're going to talk about how social media analytics can be used in three phases within the product development: the ideation, the product improvement, and the remote support. Okay? So we'll probably go one by one and see what are the different ways you could use it. Okay? So the first thing in the ideation is to form this online and focus groups. Okay? So depending upon your vision, like you said, if it's an enterprise customer. Yeah? So when I was in IBM, there was a specific software we were selling to only aerospace and medical equipment companies, and they are very limited. Yeah? So for such group, you don't have to create a Facebook page because they're not huge enough. They're very limited companies. So for such people, what we had done was we had created a face-to-face focus group where we used to meet those set of customers once in 2 months. Yeah? And then take the feedback and use that feedback into the portfolio and in the planning phases. So month or 2 months, we used to kind of get together with this set of customers face to face, and then discuss about their feedback about the products that they're using and what features would they like to have in the upcoming releases. Yeah? So we could probably target such enterprise customer because they'll not come in social media. Yeah? But if you are developing, if you're selling phones like Samsung sells, or if you're selling something which the general public is using worldwide, then you would have focus groups which would be on Facebook, Twitter, and could be multiple platforms. Right? There is a third one where there are these internal communities. Yeah? So DevOps is a community that IBM had, where the number of people are limited. Yeah? So they are not enterprise, they're general people, but they are limited. So then they have created a focus group within the company's infrastructure where they would come and we would have discussions. Where we used to call experts from outside IBM to come and talk. Yeah? So what happens is it's vital that whenever you are making such focus groups, either it's on social media platform or it's internal, it's vital that you need to involve experts, either from your company or outside. Because the people who are coming in or participating in the focus, they should feel valued. Yeah. I would go and attend Samsung's focus group if one of their architects is probably coming and talking. Something like that, right? So a technical guy would be probably interested. Or let's say if it's a Facebook focus group, and the guy who is the CTO of Facebook, he's coming and talking, probably a lot of technical guys would like to go and be part of it. So once you involve experts, people love to be kind of be part of such. So that is vital whenever you're creating focus group from an ideation perspective. So switch it off. So the other thing is this focus group needs to be used for sharing knowledge, resolving issues, brainstorming ideas. Yeah? So there could be multiple things that you could do within this focus groups. Yeah? So people who are getting involved should feel that there's a value when they're coming and being part of it. A lot of these focus groups are not sustainable when people feel there's no value coming in. When I'm coming and talking something that we'd like to have a feature or this is the problem I'm facing, and then there's no response, people will come up. It's like how many people here are part of LinkedIn groups? Really sorry. After muting. So how many people are part of LinkedIn groups? So why do you think you're part of, what value do you get? Networking.
Some discussions are relevant. Like
Sharing knowledge. So such things, if you see that, that's like an example, yeah. And then you are part of LinkedIn group because there are a lot of other experts over there within that group that are kind of providing information. So if you are running your own focus group about your products, you need to involve experts. Otherwise, it will not run. So once you get all this information, you need to extract, because there's a lot of discussions which might go, yeah. So like we had discussed. There's a lot of data, but there's no actionable analytics. Yeah? So once you have a lot of this information, you need to extract what is useful for your company and your products, and then you need to kind of feed into your product development. So this is one way that you could use social media or focus groups as part of an ideation. The second thing is, this is an example from an IBM CIO. So we have, when I was part of, I worked in IBM for 10 years. And then there are a lot of these kind of focus groups where any new product of IBM comes in, they would probably put it there. And I like IBM has 4 lakh kind of people inside the company. So it's like you already have a lot of users who could kind of beta test all the product, give you feedback and say what's working, what's not working, right? So this is what, so if you're part of a bigger company, you could, as a first step, rather than going outside, you could create a focus group within the company and start collecting feedback. If you see Facebook, Google, they all do that. So whenever Google comes with some beta products, their their employees are using it, giving feedback, even in Microsoft. And then once they kind of feel that that's stable, then they kind of take it outside. So you could utilize your employees and create a focus group around it to kind of get feedback of the products that you're running. So there is this company called Import.io, which does web scraping. Yeah. So they make web scraping very, very easy without doing even writing a single line of code. You could pull data from any site. Yeah. Now if you see their website, you could go and say, oh, I would like to have this feature. Yeah? So you go and say, as a user, I would like to have a feature to do X, Y, and Z. And then people go and vote on it. And then their company people who are part of the focus group would say, oh, yeah, I think we have discussed this, we like this, this is under review. Yeah? So this is how they're engaging the customers to kind of get the features within the products. Yeah? So your customer is giving you ideas for the features to be developed. Then you say, wow, this would be a nice thing, we never thought about it. And then you kind of interact and say, wow, thank you very much. And you'll probably have it. Yeah? in some cases, you could probably provide incentives to some of your customers for the ideas that you've selected. Yeah? So that kind of keeps them more engaged. So these are like simple. The other is from an innovation perspective. So we spoke about small ideas and we spoke about engaging. But what if you want to kind of want to have some more innovation kind of ideas for your products, and how do you do that? Yeah. So in multiple ways, crowdsourcing, hackathons, open innovation. How many people heard about 9 Sigma? So 9 Sigma, we'll probably talk about it. It's a platform where for open innovation, probably a lot of people come together on the platform to provide innovative ideas. You provide a problem, they'll provide you solutions. So if you are trying to get into such platforms to get innovative ideas or innovative solutions to the problems that you're having related to it, because not every company has a lot of research people within the company that you can probably develop all the features or provide solutions to all the, and this is the time that you can use the resources from around the world. Yeah. So there are people globally who would come together on this platform to help you solve your problems. Yeah. But to do that, you need to probably have a process on which platform do you want to go, what is the process, what is the process of putting the problem definition, selecting the ideas, what kind of incentives that you want to give once the solution is selected. And that would probably go as a new feature or a new product. We'll probably look at some examples. So 9 Sigma, this is a screenshot that I got from their website. And this is where Tata Steel is using it. And there are a lot of companies, Tata Steel is just an example. There are a lot of companies who are going and putting the problems over there. And if you see here, it says that they're looking at protective coatings for reflective mirror surfaces. Yeah? And these problems are for very different industries. Yeah? So you feel that you have a problem that needs to be solved, but you don't have enough capacity. You could use such platforms to get solutions to your problems. So what happens is you go to these platforms, you say this is my problem, and the companies, there are a lot of vendor companies over there, there are a lot of individuals who would come and say, oh, this is the proposal that I will give you. And the company kind of selects the proposal and then works with that. So here there are two things. Either a lot of product development companies could form kind of a technology company and also provide such services to all the companies like Tata Steel and stuff. So that's also another opportunity for product development. How many people have used Kaggle? Okay, so Kaggle, Kaggle is a platform for analytics, and there are a lot of competitions you can host over there. And then what people do is, so let's say you have an analytics problem that you want to solve from a featured perspective or product perspective, you can put over there and you could say, oh, this is the price one. And then people come and give solutions to it, and then you get solution. And people from around the world, so you're kind of getting the best deal from that perspective. So these are the various platforms that a product development company could use from an ideation or a feature development perspective. And if you see the problem, these are various different categories. And it's not that only small, even the industry leaders, if you see Samsung's example, their VP had said that we get most of our ideas from the market. So not necessarily that they're using only one way or other way, it's kind of multiple ways. Some could be open innovation, some could be focus group, but they are kind of using a lot of those areas to kind of get ideas for the products. Yeah. So what are the major advantages that we see from using these tools? is one is the wide pool of ideas, because if you're using crowdsourcing, you're kind of getting ideas from all around the world from the customers that they're using your product. Or there might be some people who are not using the products but are interested to give you feedback back. The other thing is the fast development, because you don't have that much capacity to do it. So this gives an additional hand for you to kind of develop your features faster, and your time to market kind of reduces, right? So that's a value. And the third thing is the cost reduction, because you don't have to spend so much money to develop a research team or a team to kind of get a solver, go to a vendor and have high price, because here you can quote your values and then go and get the problems. So let's stop here, and then what do you think that are these some of the areas do you think that your company or the product that you are building now, some of these things would be helpful, and how? Pardon?
Signal to noise ratio. That is something that is still in maintained when we are talking about social media.
So like I said, social media is one part, right? We spoke about. Then we spoke about the focus groups, which are very, very close, to the customer. We spoke about the open innovation, which is not, right? So there are multiple kind of ways you can utilize. When you're talking about the signal to noise ratio, so there are a lot of tools which will try to kind of help you to say that, okay, there's so much noise, and this is the value that we kind of see from the customer. And then once you get that dashboard, you could go and validate with your end customers, saying that, okay, this is what really are people really talking about, or is it not? But at least it gives you a perspective saying that, okay, this is what people are. Or sometimes it could be for your product, sometimes it could be for your competitor's product. Not necessarily you have to do for only your product. You would also say, oh, what are the competitors' products that people are loving it? What are the features that people are liking? And you could kind of take that information and see, oh, can I put such features in my product?
Examples of this happening today.
Pardon?
Any examples of this happening today? Somebody doing it on the computer or on themselves.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There are multiple. So when I was at IBM, we worked with a lot of companies in China, Taiwan, and Korea. And you will know now the top electronic industry customers where we have put the solutions on. So if you take Lenovo, Samsung, and all these guys, actually, at least I have worked with. But
A lot of startups, they just do this. They're relying on this because they don't have that many resources to do focus group research outside. So I know Fresh Desk, for example, in Chennai, this is pretty much their number one frequency analysis, feature prioritization. The only challenge is that your consumers have to all be, so this goes back to Brahma's point, right? Sanctity of the feedback. If your consumers are not online or actively online, then it's very hard to kind of do this. But if your customers are there and they're active, this is the lowest cost research methodology.
Again, freshers who do it on their website using no customer log.
No, even on open groups, right? So they would do customer support groups on LinkedIn, and then it's a thought leadership group that just discusses future of CRM software. So everybody is now chiming in that by 2020 software CRM should do this, that, whatever, right? And so now essentially what you've got people to start, technically speaking, the next PLF we should do this, because what session should we put in a conference is also market research, and that should be driven ideally from the participants in the conference, attendees, then the organizers or volunteers trying to break their head and trying to figure this out, right? So we've done a lot of this in McAfee type of thing, that you have user voice. I don't know which plugin you showed in that, there was a slide that you had shown,
So, mindset.
no, so there's one more that you had shown. I was actually going online to see, this.
I don't know what plugin that they use.
This plugin is very similar to user voice. So uservoice.com, if you take a quick look at it, it's exactly like this. So you put an idea, if anybody puts an idea, then people vote up and down, people put comments on it, and then the product management team will say, okay, I've heard enough people who want this feature, now I'm changing the status internally. As an admin, you can do that to, version 3, which means now the whole world automatically will get an email saying, oh, thanks, your desired feature is now in it. So this is not just for customers. Completely open. Prospects are, voting on features and things like that.
Sometimes you have to see, these are not the only ways. These are some of the ways that we are talking from a social media. There could be a lot of ways like ethnography and stuff like that. So you can mix and match and see what works best for your situation. If it's enterprise customer, then it would be kind of close focus groups. If it's an open customer base, then it could be your question.
Features apart, I have a question with regards to, for example, putting a price or putting a cost on features and all that. While we get a lot of ideas on features, and I'd love to see this in what you're developing, I'd love to see that in what you're developing. But many a times, in terms of prioritization, it also boils down to being able to put a price on what you're trying to add to the product. Because, coming from experience, there are times when the products are loaded with features and adding more doesn't always make sense.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, the challenge many times is to figure out, okay, what is it that you add? Removing something is perceived very negative, especially in case of enterprise customers.
Yeah.
Right? How is there a way, if I may ask you that way, to find out if you can kind of put a price to what you want to add and social media help you?
So social media would kind of help, I don't know from a price perspective, but from a need perspective. So if a lot of people
Need, I completely got.
yeah. But a price you'll have to see, because when they say, okay, I would like to have this feature, then you'll have to see that if you want to put feature into your product, how much will it take? Yeah. It also depends upon how complex is your product. What is the architecture? Yeah. What is the technology? So if they are asking that, okay, I want your product to talk to XYZ. Now, if there is a licensing issue, you know what I mean. Let's say if your camera should probably take SD card from XYZ also. So then there is a change to hardware. So from a customer perspective, he would not know the price related to for adding the feature. That you will have to probably. But this kind of gives you just an
The cost part we can still figure out. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give you a very real example. I'll not take the name of products and all that stuff. It's about something like it's a content which is to be consumed across. Everybody can consume that piece of content. It's basically APIs. Now, how do you get the feedback for a platform that is going to be public and generally available, to be able to say this is the price that a customer is willing to pay for this particular service? Now, we know that this is valuable for sure. We can figure out the cost part of it because we know the cost that we will incur in terms of hosting, attendance, administration, and all those kind of things. But what price to sell it?
So you are saying can we do analytics on social media to figure out what price people would be ready to pay for such feature? I'm saying yes or no, yeah. Because if a competitor has something similar, and then if there's a way to kind of see, you might be able to. But I'm not exactly sure if it's all the times if that is true. And it might be an easy way to kind of figure.
I know it's hard. I was just trying to find out if there are ways that can be explored.
Yeah. So the next thing is how we can use it from a design. So let's say your product is there, ideation. You've put that product into the market. People are using it. Now how can you use social media analytics within the improvement process of the product. So first thing is, just to give an example, there's this food company. What they have done is they have put cameras. So they have, this two-go kind of feature. So they have put the cameras, and depending upon how big the queue is, the list of the menu card, digital menu card changes. So if the queue is long, they would have those items which can be kind of cooked faster and given to the customers. If the queue is short, then they would have those items where you have more margin on this food product. So I'm just giving an example that they are using data to kind of figure out something else. This is one thing. The other thing is, let's say you have made a software or you have made a product and it's in the market. How do you know that what features people are using it? Probably people are using just 40% of the features that you have developed, but still you're maintaining all 100%. Probably that doesn't make sense, right? Or you're putting a lot of effort on it. So it's very, very vital that in that device or in that software you will have to put analytics which tracks saying that what use cases people are using it and what features when they are using it, and all that kind of data, because that data needs to then come back to the product development team where you kind of decide what kind of features you want to build next, or if there is a kind of performance lag, what people are using but it's taking long time to kind of for this to load. So how fast this data is coming to the product? Because when I used to go and talk to a lot of companies, a lot of this data is collected, but none comes to the product developers. And I probably would like to ask, how many of your companies do you see that the product development teams are right kind of getting this kind of data? And I would doubt if a lot of.
We do that in a very longer cycle.
Yeah.
We have means to discuss with the users. We make something called user day.
Yeah.
You showed it previous slides. So where we bring the users who are extensively using it and have exchange information. Run them because they are from different companies. There we also collect requirements. What else do they need in the product? It takes a long cycle. When we go to the product manager in the next release, the debate should be really included or not.
Because what happens is this will give you right data. Because when you ask, sometimes people might give you different kind of information. They'll exactly say, oh, this feature has never been used, or this feature has been used only 5% or 10%. And then you base that data, then you can go and talk to your customer saying that, okay, why do you think you're not using it, or do you think this feature is not?
What happens is, especially in the enterprise products or business products, customers never say, don't remove this, I don't use it. Because again, it's coming to what they are paying for.
But in a service-based model, over a period of time, all of these softwares will get into a service-based model, and then people will probably look at certain aspects of those. Because I will not pay if I'm not using that feature. Yeah. So if I say that you pay only for every feature wise, then you say, oh, okay, I'm not using this feature, I'm not paying for it. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. So it will not be a fixed price kind of thing. Yeah. So if it's on the cloud, then people will probably pick and choose features. The second thing is, like we kind of discussed from social media or feedback or group discussions, the kind of data that we get, it needs to go back to the product development teams. The third thing is the warranty and the customer support. And I'll give an example here. And I was reading about Hire, which makes this home appliances, Chinese company. And one of the service person gets a call from a remote place in China who is using the washing machine. And then when the service guy goes there and figures out, so there's a lot of mud which is kind of blocking within the washing machine. And when he's talking to the customer, and he says, okay, I also use it for washing potatoes. So this is real. So now there are two options, right? the service engineer would say, oh, this was not intended for washing potatoes. This was only intended for washing clothes. Chapter is closed, right? But what this guy did is got this feedback to the product development teams. And they updated the washing machine so that it can be used for washing potatoes and washing clothes. That washing machine now is the #1 selling washing machine in the world.
I think in China you have to do that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in India.
Yeah.
But my observation even with our products, and they also announce the new releases, they say this is for the Chinese market, Japanese market. Not just for the language, it's for the unique usage. It's because they don't want to scale down or they don't want to adjust to the existing product. They say, I need it like this. They're very particular about that.
So two things which comes to my mind here. One is your customer support people being kind of told that, oh, if there is an idea which a customer is giving, please bring it back. What happens is most of the time when you have a problem in your devices, somebody comes home and says, oh, this is how it is. You're not supposed to use this way. Yeah. So this is about how you kind of. So if you are trying to get a lot of these feedbacks, there's also a culture change. It's not just technologies, it's not just tools. It's also a culture change when you're telling your people across in the support and the operations, saying that if somebody is giving a feedback, don't kind of thrash it away, bring it back. Probably there could be some other business idea. And this same happened for the fridge also, for hire. So when they were selling to remote kind of places, a lot of rodents were getting it. There was a lot of rodents in remote places. And what they did was they put steel plates in the end, and the wires, they made it such that the rodents cannot eat it. So the point is taking the feedback to the product development teams and working around so that you kind of give value. So that is important. And from an operations perspective, because you are taking the product, deploying it at certain place, whether it's an enterprise or depending on, could be like a water purifier, yeah, you're putting it. So if that operator goes and puts and says, oh, I think every house that I'm going in Bangalore, I'm finding the kitchens or something like that, just to give an example, and that feedback would probably provide. So that kind of open culture needs to be there in the company so that you can get the right feedback. So this is about BMW where they are collecting all the data from the warranty information. So every time you have a problem, if you have a BMW, if you have a problem, you go, that data is being collected, analyzed, and probably used for the new models that they're building so that you don't kind of, put that same problems into the new models. So all the pilot testing data and the warranty data they're collecting. So like we spoke, one of the challenges, collection of data is one thing, using, analyzing, and then kind of feeding into the right place. Yeah. So this kind of helps to reduce a lot of these time-consuming repairs and stuff like that, right? So ultimately you're helping your customers. From a remote perspective, if you see, all this cost of return for products is very high. And there are a lot of reasons for it. When I was doing some research for electronic industry, in US, you get a lot of these phones through companies like Verizon, Airtel, Vodafone, because you're not buying directly. So if they don't like it, they just go give it back. And Verizon would take it because he's not paying for it, he'll just go and throw it to Samsung. Yeah, because he's not losing any money on it. So, and we figured out that the reason people are returning is when they're starting to use it, they're not able to use it properly. So there are features, but they need help in the usage. So there was no, so there was no trouble found in the device as such. Because a lot of things when we buy from Amazon and or Flipkart, many times there's no problem. Yeah. But sometimes people are not, oh, I think I was looking for that, that feedback is probably not going to, or that discussion is probably not happening. So that connection is not. So it's very, very vital that that the product development teams should look at the product performance, how it is happening, what are the things which are going on. So before even the customer kind of reports it, you kind of take it. And nowadays, you can just go and update. So if it's a software, it doesn't take anything, right? It's an over-the-air support. Right? A lot of things are coming in, even in cars, which people are kind of providing over-the-air support to a lot of devices. I know somebody's there from Bosch was there, right? Probably they would say. Bosch was also building such thing. So once you get this feedback, you don't have to wait. You can provide a direct update. In some cases, if you're selling a shirt, it might not be possible. But if it's something electronic which is connected, that's why we said a lot of devices and customers are getting connected. You can probably provide.
We have a product from our company which also the car makers use. It's going to be becoming in the future very common, a few years from now. So your car software will get updated on the air.
Absolutely. And there's an Israeli company which does that. I forgot the name. Tesla does that. But name comes. So the other part is the live support. So even if you're doing a mobile and stuff like that, is there a way that your customer support can directly talk to the end customers? When you like we said, 96% of the mobile users cannot directly converse with the company people. So that's very, very vital. So if you see, there is something called predictive analytics, where this concept, and we have used it with printers and stuff like that. So if you are doing a service-based work, yeah. So let's say if we are in GE case, they are taking data from all these small devices within the product and figuring it out through analytics. When will this device fail? So let's say if you're driving a car and the battery would say, okay, after 7 days I'm going to fail, and the data goes to the dealer, you get a battery, and he comes and fixes it up, etc. So you are providing support to your customers using analytics even before that. So this we had done a project that was an idea for one of the printer companies, because nowadays a lot of these corporates don't want to buy printers. So they would take the printers, and every page that is printed, they would pay for that. But if the printer is not working, who is losing money? The company is not losing money, because they are not printing pages, so they are not losing money. But if I am providing them the printers as a service, then I am losing money. So it's my job to keep those printers working. So we have kind of developed that algorithm, so when the data which comes out of those devices, we would say, okay, after 2 days, this cartridge will go out, or whatever it is. So then you go and fix it. So then your billing doesn't stop from that. So this is what, if you're building any product, either it's a connected product or it's non-connected product, it's important. First thing is to collect the data, engage with the customer, consolidate the data if you're collecting from multiple sources, analyze it, and then provide. So there are systems in the market for each of these areas where you can take it and then to complete that cycle. So once you take all the data, and then you can provide the feedback or an update to the customer. So that's all that I had. But one thing that I wanted to ask you is, based on what we have discussed, what are the qualities that you think that a company needs to have to kind of use the social media analytics for a product?
I have a question.
Yes.
The IoT comes into play.
Yes.
Seriously comes into play.
Yes.
Device to device communication.
Yes.
Where does this customer feedback come into play now?
Yes. So IoT is a good example, because a lot of this IoT data, they are saying it generates currently around 2 petabytes of data every day, all these devices, right? Now a lot of these devices are telling you about a lot of things. So let's say washing machine, right? So now I spoke about washing machine directly talking and ordering a detergent where there's no customer support involved. Right? But it also, when it's connected, it's also giving you data that how often he is ordering the detergent. So that you can take the data and sell to the marketing team of detergent so that he can provide you offers at the right time. So when that washing machine is going to Flipkart or Amazon to kind of do that deal, let's say for example, it would say, okay, there are 100 of that washing machine every third of the month they are kind of going. This is the time if you can kind of put a deal probably there. So that's one way. The other thing is, long as IoT devices that they are connected, because they are connected, they are giving you a lot of data. And you can utilize that data and either use for marketing or for support. And as they are connected, you can directly kind of update them or provide new features. So we're talking about what are the different things that a company needs to have, qualities to adopt social media analytics. What do you guys think? Like one thing would be agility. If you're getting a feedback, how fast with quality that you can give an update to the customer. So your product development needs to be a little agile to kind of do that. If it's not, then say, oh, for this update I probably would need one more week, then they are coming. So agility would be probably one of the qualities that company needs to have.
The places where it might not be used as IP intensive companies or IP social media.
I can give you an interesting example there. GE is one of the most IP-intensive companies I know. They have opened up about 20,000 patents that they have and they are not using to work.
Yeah, but in the product development cycle, new product development cycle, if these are IP intensive,
There are ways to do that.
So I agree with you that there are companies who. So that's where you need to train your product development teams and have certain faces who are participating in those groups to make sure that they are not kind of giving any IP related stuff, but they are discussing something which will probably not cross. So such trainings and stuff like that are important when you're developing the tools.
Yeah, I think it's possible to trace looking at the communications going on social media. What is the company working on?
Yeah. But like I showed you about 9 Sigma. Yeah. So you'll see every company from Philips to Tata Steel over there saying that, okay, we are looking for this feature. Open RFP, bring on proposals. Now you know what Tata Steel is doing. You know what Philips is doing.
Yeah, but not everything.
That's what I'm saying. You definitely have certain core areas,
right.
But there are a lot of features that you would love to have added to it, but you don't have the capacity. This kind of would give you that extra capacity.
so in my company, there are examples where I work like that. There are examples where people have put certain things in their LinkedIn profile, which kind of led to a new generation product, which probably company was low, and there was a lot of mail circulation happening there.
So education is important, but you probably will not be able to stop it because that person can go home and be part of any other open group which is not kind of run by Intel and then share a lot of data.
Yeah.
Right? So that education is vital for.
There are pluses and minuses.
Absolutely. And that's the reason I said whenever you're preparing the focus group, the company needs to have a vision. What they want to get out of it. It's an ideation. Is it you want to resolve people's problem? Why are you building this focus group? And then based on your kind of side of business, you figure out what works out for you to start with and start from there. So probably not necessarily that every company has to probably do everything that that's been discussed, but that needs to be based on the vision.
The other option is you use online to create the offline focus group participants. Now we've done this a lot where find people on LinkedIn just to send them an invite for an offline focus group. So you don't want to discuss things on LinkedIn. You can find people on LinkedIn who are ideal candidates for you to invite. Right, so that's also another,
Yeah.
if you want to safeguard whatever sensitivity that you have, that's still another very, very, in fact, that's true for all of the product labs, projects we think about it, right? Your first 50 customers can actually come from just pure play social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, without spending a dime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aslam. It was a good session. I think all of you can reach out. Aslam has very kindly listed all the places he can be found.
Social media.
So if there are more questions, do reach out to him. And thanks a lot. We do have a small presentation. I think it's industry. Can I do something? I think they have.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Aslam is also going to help us be an agile coach. One of the things that we're experimenting as we add more things to the program, trying to have more communications coach, more specific vertical expert coaches on the added and augmented. So we're actually looking forward to having him a lot of our agile courses and things like that. So, pleasure to have you.